Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a huge shift happening under the surface of the global economy. It's a new gold rush, and frankly, it could change everything we think we know about money.
This one idea, it's causing a massive shift in global finance. You know, for decades, the US dollar has been king. It's the currency that central banks all over the world hold on to for trade and to keep their own economies stable. But lately, some serious cracks have started to appear. And, well, countries are starting to look for a backup plan.
And to really get what's happening, we've got to go deep underground into some of the most secure vaults on the planet. Something totally new is going on down here. Central banks aren't just parking their gold anymore. They're buying it up like never before. And, crucially, they're bringing it home.
Okay, so let's get into this global gold scramble. And listen, this isn't just a couple of countries making a small bet. We are talking about a coordinated, worldwide move away from the way things have been done for generations.
The demand is just so intense that countries are literally fighting to get their gold home. I mean, just look at what happened to Serbia's central bank governor. When fresh flowers and food get priority boarding over millions of dollars in solid gold, you know the system is under some serious strain.
And this isn't just one or two countries. It's a full-blown trend. Poland has become a massive buyer. China's central bank, they've been snapping up gold for over a year straight. And nations all over, from Eastern Europe to Asia, they're not just buying it, they're physically moving the bars back to their own vaults.
And this chart, wow, it really tells the story, doesn't it? The buying from central banks is at crazy high levels, historically speaking. This is not a short-term blip, folks. This is a sustained strategic pivot. Something big is changing.
So that's the big question, right? Why now? I mean, after decades of living in a dollar-dominated world, what on earth has changed to make this, what one famous economist called a barbarous relic, so popular all of a sudden? Well, the answer really comes down to the changing role of the world's go-to currency, the US dollar. The trust, that bedrock of the whole global financial system, it's starting to wear thin. Think about this. Just a decade ago, the dollar made up about 2/3 of all the money central banks held in their reserves. It was the safe asset, the foundation of global finance. Fast forward to today, and that number's dropped all the way to 57%. And guess what? The slide is getting faster. Countries are actively looking for other places to park their wealth. So why is this trust fading? A couple of massive things are going on. First, the world is just a more unstable, conflicted place. And second, and this is a big one, the use of financial sanctions as a weapon. When Russia's dollar reserves were frozen, it sent a shockwave around the globe. The message was clear. Your dollar assets are only yours as long as the US says they are. So it all comes down to this. Nations are looking for an insurance policy. They want an asset that's neutral, an asset that isn't someone else's liability, and that can't just be frozen with the stroke of a pen. And for thousands of years, that asset has been gold. But this isn't just about playing defense. This whole shift is actually pushing countries to build something completely new. Let's take a look at a real-world alternative that's being tested as we speak.
So a group of major economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're piloting this new settlement tool they're calling the unit. And the idea is for it to work as a digital currency for trade, one that completely sidesteps the traditional dollar system.
And here's the really clever part. This isn't just another made-up currency. It's actually backed by real stuff. 40% of its value comes from physical gold, and the other 60% from a basket of the members' own currencies. That gold is there for one reason: stability and trust.
The goal here is pretty simple, actually. Build a parallel system. By using the unit, these countries can trade directly with each other. They can store their wealth in something anchored by gold, and they can protect themselves from US sanctions and policy decisions. It's a whole new game. But hold on. This move towards physical assets, it's not just about gold. The exact same strategic thinking is now being applied to other critical materials. And that brings us to gold's often forgotten cousin, silver. So you've got gold on one hand, it's the financial shield, the insurance policy that just sits in a vault. But then you have silver, which is becoming a strategic weapon. It's not just stored, it's actually used up, consumed in the race for new technology and green energy. I mean, get this. Over half of all silver is now used in factories. It is absolutely critical for the green energy transition. Solar panels alone eat up a huge slice of the world's supply, and you can't replace it in electric vehicles, electronics, or military gear. The real weakness here isn't that we're running out of silver in the ground.
It's about who controls the supply chains to get it out.
So this totally changes how you have to think about silver. It stops being just another commodity to trade, and it becomes a strategic resource you have to stockpile, just like countries stockpile oil. You need it to power the industries of the future.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. The mad dash for gold, the dollar's slow fade, the new importance of strategic metals. What does it all tell us about where we're headed? Well, it paints a picture of a world that's breaking apart from one single system into something else entirely.
We are watching a massive, historic pivot happen in real time. We are moving away from a system built on one country's currency, on promises, and toward a new system built on tangible, physical assets that a nation can actually hold in its own hands, inside its own borders. This is nothing less than the redrawing of the global economic map. And it leaves us with this one huge question. In the future, will power belong to those who can print the money or to those who own the real stuff?